Who's the person behind your persona, Bobby?
Sidney kind of inspired me with his talk here, because I was going to talk about the fact that something secret like years ago I won a karaoke contest, or I'm actually a board game aficionado, and I'm pretty cutthroat with board games, and I try to beat as many people as I can, and I'm pretty good at board games. But one thing I'll share on my own personal journey is that aside from the business and the family and the things that I'm really passionate about, I think my biggest struggle in my life has been my health, my weight. I've been a binge eater my whole life. I've been a food addict my whole life. And about 6 years ago, I started a journey to try to get under control. And I remember, being a motivational speaker out there, one of the things that my mentor told me is that, no matter how much you do, people are still going to wonder, like, if you can motivate people in every aspect of your life, they're still going to wonder, why are you struggling with being so overweight and being unhealthy? And so, I really tried hard to work on that. And, back in 2013, I was struggling, and I eventually was feeling myself really moody, and I became diabetic in 2006, and that's also made things worse. And finally, in 2013, I started a campaign called #FitInMyLife. And what it really was all about was I was trying to become more fit in my life, but I also struggled to make everything fit in my life. It was a double entendre. And I can tell you that the journey has been up and down, up and down, up and down. I've had 7 months of success, 3 months of failure, 2 months of success, 7 months of failure. And it's just been really, really bad. But bad and good. But, I think it's been a journey of self-awareness. It's been a journey of trying to, I thought when I had kids, I'd be able to overcome it and be motivated. It didn't happen. It had to come from within. And, we've had different crises, health in our family as well. And, I think my entire family struggles with weight and diabetes, things like that. So, but now I've lately been on an interesting path where I decided to try keto. And I've been researching it, and I've been looking at it, and I've been very hesitant for about 2 years. I finally decided, I'll do a 30-day, just 30 days. What's 30 days, right? Let's see what happens. Because they would say things that I didn't believe, and I didn't see any data. But after 30 days, it actually was quite amazing. I lost 23 pounds in 30 days, which is way too much. You should lose, you shouldn't lose that much. But for a big guy like myself, it wasn't so bad. And then when I got off it, I didn't gain very much. And then I started again. I lost another 12 pounds. But the biggest thing that I gained from it was that my hunger went down. And I can say that in the last 2 months, I haven't binged once. And that is phenomenal, because most binge eaters, they binge almost weekly, sometimes even more than that. And the frequency and the severity, both of those things have been reduced significantly. And so I'm very grateful for that. I feel for the first time that I actually have some control, because part of the challenge of being a binge eater and food addict is you have no control. And even though I've been off, I just finished a 21-day challenge 2 days ago. So I've been off. So I've been actually eating pretty bad, and I've already gained like 2-3 pounds, which is fine, because the good news is I actually feel that when I start again on Thursday, which is 2 days from now, I will feel in control again, because that the worst feeling in the world is feeling out of control. When you binge, there's not, like, if you want to binge, like in your head, nothing can stop you. And I'm a very stubborn person anyway, so nothing will stop me from eating what I want to eat. But what was amazing the last 2 months, it never happened. And so for me, I'm very excited to leverage keto. I'm not, certainly not something I'm going to do long term. Like, I can't really sustain my whole life, because I still love bread, pasta, and rice. But I know that it's definitely lowered my hunger, and I'm now changing my mindset to look at carbs as a treat, like ice cream, which is kind of cool. And I've also eliminated sugar from my life, which is great. So no more fruits, no more juices, no more sugar in my tea, things like that. So, I haven't actually, I did talk about binge eating on LinkedIn one time. I haven't talked about keto, because, back in the day, I was kind of like a naysayer too. I don't believe that stuff, But now, I see it, I get it, and I'm happy to advocate for it. And it's going to be a journey that I might share in the future. But right now, no one knows what's happened in the last 2 months. But I'm super excited, because I'm now at the lowest weight I've been since I got married 17 years ago.
Wow, that's great. That's awesome. Good on you, Bobby. And you brought up a very, very important point, like about conditioning, right? I mean, conditioning, it's all about repeating, the repetitive process that you need to just put yourself through sometimes, which conditions your body, your mind, your soul to actually be to recognize that is the pattern that you need to follow. And you can break out of cycles at any given moment. It's all about taking that first step. So good on you, Bobby. I mean, that's very inspiring, and I'm sure that'll be very inspiring for a lot of people around the world who have problems with weight issues, because it's not just in the mind. It sometimes can be pathological problems as well. Mm-hmm. So that's where you've got to sometimes train your mind to actually look beyond just being reliant on medicines and stuff. Because I have a feeling our minds, our brains are the most powerful organ in our body. And once we start being able to tap into it correctly, and I'm sure Sidney's going to go into that a bit later during your discussion. So, and that's what makes a huge difference, doesn't it?
Yeah, and the thing that it affects every aspect. There's so
Exactly.
many layers here, because it definitely affects my body image. It affects my energy levels. It affects the way I'm as a parent in my business. So there's just so many different aspects to it. But ultimately, I've always believed a better me is a better everything else.
Perfectly said. Perfectly said. Tom, you specialize in employee engagement and stuff. But tell us something. Blow us away. Tell us something that we would never guess about you.
Well, I have an interesting mix of talents, etc. That I've explained why I've been blessed with these things, but some of it's like my
You're sounding like
who,
Liam Neeson. I've got a very
well, so what people may not realize is grew up skiing from 4 years old. We started skiing, so it does some really awesome skiing over the years. So some big mountains, a lot of very serious water skiing over the years as well. But also some artistic talents, like to draw, paint, play piano, guitar a little bit, and I've spent 30 plus years in sales, and I realized that there's a reason I had all these outlets, because they're really excellent stress reducers. Because and for anybody who skis or water skis or does these other things, there's nothing you're thinking about when you're going down that mountain. All you're thinking about is making the run, where your line's going to be, what are you going to do for the next run. It really is a wonderful way to clear the mind. And I also have been an inventor of all kinds of ideas and services, etc. As we all know, it's time and money to bring those things to fruition. I did write a book. I don't consider myself an author. I wrote a book. I think an author is somebody who actually pays bills with the revenue, and that's not. I did write a book about just the theme of distraction, how we let things in our lives tug and pull at our time without realizing the price that we pay for doing that. But for what I take great pride in, I pass a lot of this down to my kids. All three of the kids are musical. They're all very athletic, and they have very eclectic interests as well. So seeing it coming out in them has been a real pleasure. But again, having these outlets to be able to just bring your mind focused on something very particular, especially if it's creative or athletic, gives you an outlet to really burn off that stress. Which is, you spend 30 years in sales, and anybody else out there knows there's going to be some stress, especially
Couldn't agree more.
Yes.
Couldn't agree more. But Tom, a little birdie once told me that you're actually also an avid golfer.
Well, I throw that in there as well, but again, I'm with most of the population that's really happy when I can keep it under 90. So, I'm not going on tour anytime soon.
You brought up a very, very good point there, Tom, especially with having an outlet. In my opinion, each and every one of us is in a sales process at every single moment of every single day, because we are trying to impose our influence on the decision of others. And whenever there is a decision-making process, there's always like choosing one option over the other, which to a certain extent is the sales process. You brought up a very, very important point, Tom. It's so important to have that outlet. And I can so sort of resonate with that, because I'm a pianist as well, and I love singing. So music has always been that outlet for me. Just to sum it up, to all the listeners and network, Tom Frederick has a very special set of skills, so which he has accumulated over a vast period of years. I'm gonna give you the moniker of the Liam Neeson of LinkedIn there. So thank you so much, Tom, for sharing that with us. Really appreciate it.